Welcome inside the Charleston Coliseum and Convention Center for the AA Championship in Boys High School Basketball. Wheeling Central, the Maroon Knights, the number 2 seed, taking on the number 1 seed, Yellow Jackets of Williamstown. Hi, everybody. I'm Hoppy Kercheval, along with the voice of high school sports in West Virginia, Fred Persinger. Fred, set up this matchup.
Well, I tell you what, they always say you save the best for last when you have championship encounters. We may be putting our best foot forward starting today. I think this could very easily be the best game all day in Championship Saturday. They met once in the regular season back on February the 1st at Williamstown. Williamstown won 56-55. Talking with head coach Scott Sorrow, he said, hey, if we'd been there, they probably would have won. They are that close. Both of them have great players. It's going to be fun.
I agree, Fred. So stay with us. Starting lineups and the tip-off of this AA championship game coming up next here on Metro News Sports. Your job at a better quality of life for all West Virginians. Now for Wheeling Central, they are led by Eli Sancombe, the player of the year in West Virginia. He is fun to watch. More about him a little bit later on. And for Williamstown, all seniors. All seniors except for Kaiser. Kaiser's a junior, so this is a very experienced Williamstown ball club. It will be Williamstown, the number 1 seed. There's our head coaches. There's the venerable Mel Stevens in his 22nd year as a head coach. He's coached for 43 years.
He has indeed, and he knows all of the tricks of the trade. I promise you that. You talk about these teams being close. Well, you said Mel Stevens in his 22nd year. When you look at the head coach of the Williamstown Yellow Jackets, Scott Sorrow, in his 21st year. Even the coaches have been around the same amount of time.
And as you said, Fred, when they met earlier in the year, it was a 1-point game. We look for another classic today. And Wheeling Central, as the number 2 seed in their traveling maroon jerseys, will start with the ball. And there he is, Eli Sancombe, player of the year. And a player, even though he's a junior, that colleges are already very interested in.
He has all of the tools, no doubt. We have a traveling call against Wheeling Central Catholic, but Eli Sancombe, 24 points in the semifinal win over Westside, 22 in the quarterfinal round win over Ritchie County. Now, Hop, if you look at the Wheeling Central Knights, who are they going to have to really combat all of that? I tell you what, Eli Sancombe is not a man by himself. Tyler Dean is an outstanding player. We'll watch him this afternoon as well.
And for Williamstown, Parker Schramm, you're going to hear his name a lot. He's their leading scorer, averaging 17 points a game. Fred, what about this early start? I mean, 10 o'clock, does that affect these kids?
Not at all. If they weren't playing here on the Coliseum.
Metro News. The Williams Central fans, they're happy. They have a 1-point lead going into the second quarter. However, they have missed their last 4 shots. Now Williamstown with the basketball to start the second quarter in this AA title game. And we'll see what they come up with.
I think it's going to be a game of ebbs and flows, roller coaster ride for both teams, hitting, missing as part of the game. And you just play through it and get your game going.
Sancombe gives it up to Giangeli, who's checked into the game for the Maroon Knights. Luke Sancombe. There's Oliash with the putback. Oliash has had a couple opportunities on that putback and just can't get it to go.
Yeah, he's had a couple of tough shots that just will not fall for him right now.
Isley draws a double team. Schramm, long 3. Great hustle that time by Isley to tip it back to Schramm. Good job, Isley.
Ball went in the backcourt. Parker Schramm raced to get it, and they'll restart their offense again.
Just inside the second quarter. Maroon Knights up by 1, 12-11 in the AA title game. There's Schramm. Zone defense here by Wheeling Central. Cuts off the drive. Entry pass out of bounds. And it will stay with Williamstown. It was knocked out of bounds there by Luke Sancombe. He's a sophomore, and again, the younger brother of Eli.
But he looks very younger, doesn't he?
He does.
He just looks younger as you look at him there.
He does, but he plays. Look, their dad's a coach.
Yeah.
Danny Sancombe is a coach at University of California, Pennsylvania. So they grew up around it.
Oh, yeah. They've been coached well, no doubt.
Down court to Luke, saves it from going out of bounds. Good hustle by Luke Sancombe. I have a feeling, too, that Luke Sancombe has a growth spurt coming.
Well, there's probably music to Luke's ears, I can tell you that.
Let's see how the officials ruled this. They look at each other, and it's going to go to Williamstown.
Said it went off the toe of one of Wheeling Central Catholic's players. Mr. Colin Patonic, one of the officials in the ball game, very demonstrative about pointing to his foot to say it went this way off the toe.
No points yet here in the second quarter. 5:43 remaining. Williamstown will have the basketball. Another opportunity to take the lead. There's Powell. Cut off. There's the long three for Isley.
We have a new leader.
14-12. First lead of the game for Williamstown, the #1 seed. And now we have a foul by Wheeling Central. I'm sorry. Fouls on Williamstown.
Cruz Isley got the ball and just squared his shoulders right at the top of the key, his toe on that college three line, and buried it to give his Yellow Jackets their first lead of this ball game.
Long three, yes, by Eli Sancombe. My goodness.
He's fun, isn't he? He is fun to watch.
The line, the three-point line, whether it's the high school line, the college line, whether it's out back. Now we have a foul away from the ball. Let's see how the officials see it.
Going to be called against the Wheeling Central Maroon Knights.
Fouls on Giangeli.
Mr. Patonic with much better eyes than I have. I didn't know where they were looking.
Williamstown will throw it in. Errant pass. Turnover. And for Williamstown, it's just their first turnover. Second turnover for Williamstown.
Tyler Kaiser that time probably should have just thrown a chest pass. Wanted to go with the bounce pass, and it fooled Wyatt Powell and went by him.
Williamstown down one with the ball. There's Bryant. Three ball by Kaiser, too strong, easy rebound there for Sancombe. Sancombe, another three attempt off back iron. Rebound though, and it was going to be a second opportunity, but the quick hands by Schramm. Schramm wants to go the distance. Euro step, cut off, floor foul. Not a shooting foul.
Nope, happened before the shot. Second foul on Williamstown. I'll go against Parker Schramm.
I think it's on Cusick.
That might have been Cusick.
Yeah, Cusick.
Yeah, the second one on Cusick. There you go.
Yeah, second team foul. And again, you don't get into a free throw shooting situation on a floor foul until you get to 5 fouls.
That's right. Good defense right now by Central Catholic. Trying to deny that inside look. Nice backdoor pass that time. It almost got away.
Wheeling Central touched it last. Not a lot of scoring so far in this quarter. 3:44 left to go in the second quarter, and Wheeling Central clinging to a 1-point lead.
And just, he's a teacher in the Marion County Board of Education system, so giving of his time this week and on the weekend, Mr. Colin Patonic inside the stripes.
I was talking with one of the officials last night, Fred, and he looked at me and he said, how come he says, I can't please anybody. I said, well, you're an official. What do you mean? Of course you can.
You please half of them half the time.
All right, 3:35 to go in the second quarter. And the Knights are up on the Yellow Jackets by 1.
Very patient coming out of that timeout. Ball game where Williamstown trails by only 1.
Cruz Isley cut off. Three ball drops in for Lincoln Joy. Got the hometown bounce.
He did indeed, and gives his Jackets the lead. Ball stolen away. That went out of bounds. Good hustle. Landing on his elbow, and that stings for just a little while. It's Cruz Isley.
But I want to go back to Eli Sancombe. I know he has 7 points, but Williamstown coach Scott Sorrow, I think, is doing a good job here. He's switching out to try to deny Sancombe the half court. Now Sancombe has the ball now.
And good pressure.
Good pressure, good defense there. So when you're doing that defensively, when you have that switch on and you're denying Sancombe that half court game, then he's got to find other ways to score, or somebody else has to get involved. And his best scoring opportunities, as you said, probably come in the transition games. So I think Scott Sorrow is pleased currently with how things are going on Sancombe.
Well, I think he is too, but I think right now Mel Stevens is not happy. Is he still pleased, you think, on how things are going on?
Well,
Eli?
maybe not as happy with that in particular. But you're forcing, what you do is you force Sancombe into more difficult shots. But you know what?
Yeah.
He also can make them.
He's got 10, 4 of 8 from the floor.
Cruz Isley answers on the other end. He has 6. Tied up at 18.
Brand new ball game.
Under 2 minutes to play. Luke Sancombe penetrates.
And he's going to the free throw line. He was fouled, and fouled pretty hard. I thought he was going to say something to the defender, and brother Eli said, come here.
Fearless.
Grabbed him by the waist and pulled him away. I thought that was the best part. It wasn't Eli, but it was a player. Max Oliash said, hey, come on. You go to the free throw line. He's ready. He's tough.
Oh, man. He just said, I'm going. I'm going here.
Right down the middle.
Anybody want any of this?
Somebody said, they're taller. I don't care. I'm going. Well, you like that fire, though. Max Oliash said, let's go over and take care of my little buddy. My little buddy's going to take care of himself. He said, no. We're going to go this way if you don't mind.
Well, and Carson Hill might have been giving him a little walk by.
Well, I
right?
think so, yeah.
1 of 2 for the 84% free throw shooter.
Check out and nurse that knee. He banged that knee pretty hard when he went down.
Giangeli will come in for Luke Sancombe. So, making 1 of 2 gives the Maroon Knights a 1-point lead, 19-18. Low scoring ball game so far.
It is, but you kind of expect it. We'll see what happens certainly in the second half. They've been feeling each other out, even though they know each other extremely well. It's just been kind of a slow start for both ball clubs.
But also, I think, Fred, good defense by both teams.
No doubt.
Turnover.
Until then.
So for Williamstown, that's turnover number 3 with a minute and a half to go in the half. Troy
Anthony missed that one from the deep corner. Scott Sorrow wants to talk about it.
All right, so Fred, we got a 1-point ball game, and Wheeling Central up by 1, 19-18 over Williamstown. What's your assessment of what we've seen so far?
Well, right now, you've got Central Catholic shooting 50% from the floor, which is certainly great shooting. But for Williamstown, they're shooting only 33%. And they're going to have to tighten that up a lot. Three-point field goal shooting for Williamstown, 25% hop. And they can really shoot from outside as well. So we'll see the scoring change probably throughout the course of the contest. Rebounding right now, even 15-15 apiece. And turnovers, I think when you look at turnovers, 3 and 3 in a game that's been going up and down the floor. Not a lot of scoring, but not a lot of mistakes.
And Fred, we mentioned defense. Wheeling Central held opponents to an average, held opponents in the tournament here in Charleston to 38 in the semis, 27 in the quarters. Williamstown held opponents to 51 in the semis, and in the quarters held them to 39. So both very good defensive teams.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. And again, in the quarterfinals, Williamstown beat Buffalo, and in the semifinals, they beat Wyoming East. And then Wheeling Central, much like their opponent Williamstown today, they beat number 7 Ritchie County in the quarters and number 3 West Side in the semifinals. So they went through the bracket the way it's supposed to be, and you get number 1 and number 2 here today.
Difference in these programs, both very good programs, but Williamstown only has 1 state championship and Wheeling Central has 12.
Yeah, well, you know, some double A, some single A,
right.
Exactly. But 2021 was the only time that Williamstown won. They defeated Polka in a close one, 50-47. Xavier Carruthers is a great player on that team.
Williamstown came in 2020 as the number 1 seed. Remember what happened in 2020?
Yes, didn't get to play.
I was listening to you all on the radio.
Yeah, it was very silent. One of my better broadcasts, by the way.
Yeah, when it was the COVID year, everything got stopped. They might argue they were denied an opportunity for the championship that year, but it was a COVID year, so.
Yeah, rightfully so. Everyone that made it to the tournament was denied.
Yes.
You know, so that's the way that was. We don't even want to talk about that anymore. That's behind us.
Williamstown holding for 1 shot.
What do you think about this first half, Hop? A little disappointed in the low scoring, or happy about the defense, the way that's been played?
No, I think you're getting, from a fan perspective, you're getting what you want. That is a close game with 2 well-matched teams.
Good point.
Nobody's running away with this, so every possession feels huge.
And it is.
5 seconds left in the quarter, and we get a foul.
.4 seconds they put on the clock. Foul was called by Mr. Patonic, and that will give the ball back to Central Catholic.
Yeah, the foul was on Kaiser, and that's his first. So yeah, with 4.4 seconds remaining, there is time for a shot, and Sandcombe's going to take it. Oh.
And of course he's going to make it. Of course.
Wow. Eli Sandcombe banked it in at the gun.
Now matters.
On Williamstown at halftime of the WVSSAC Class AA State Championship game. We are joined by David Price, the Executive Director of the WVSSAC. He's talking with Fred Person, your courtside.
Thank you, Joe Bricado. It is halftime here in Charleston. My guest, Executive Director of the WVSSAC, Mr. David Price. And David, first of all, welcome. It's been good to see you the last couple of weeks.
Well, Fred, thank you very much. Today brings the close of 56, 58 basketball games in the last 2 weeks. So it's been a great 2 weeks.
It's been fun, no question about it. Easy for you guys. I don't want to talk about this because I know a lot of people don't know. Easy for you to keep track of the amount of money that you receive from the state and taxpayers, right?
Oh, it's very easy for us to keep track because it's zero. You know, the SSAC is a private, nonprofit organization that receives 0 tax dollars. no money from the state or federal government. It all comes from sponsorships and ticket revenues.
Also, I hear it so many times across the state. Why did those 4 people in Parkersburg make that rule? You didn't.
We didn't. The rules are made by the principals of West Virginia. Our job in Parkersburg is to make sure they're followed. But, you know, when those rules are proposed and made by the Board of Control, principals of West Virginia, it also goes to the State Board of Education, where those rules go out on public comments so that there is transparency of the rules that go into effect, and people have an opportunity to chime in on them, if you will, with the State Board before they consider them and do a final vote.
David, always a pleasure, my friend. Great run tournament. Can't wait till softball, okay?
It's just around the corner. Thank you, Fred.
It is indeed. David Price, the Executive Director of the WVSSAC. Stay with us. Coming back, we'll have the start of the second half between Williamstown and Wheeling Central. Ended that long half-court shot that banked in. And look at him. He didn't act like it was any big thing. He just walked off the floor. Okay, hit another shot. That's Eli Sankum. For Williamstown, they're kind of spreading it around a little bit. We knew about Parker Schramm and what he could offer to his offense. Also, some great outside shooting by Lincoln Joy for a 3. And then you get somebody else involved, and that's Cruz Isley. And Cruz Isley can fill it up from the outside as well. So right now, it's Eli Sankum bearing the load for Wheeling Central, which we expected. And then for the other team, for Williamstown, Scott Sorrow is really spreading it around. 3-point field goal shooting hop. And for Central Catholic, 5 of 12, only 3 of 12 for the Yellow Jackets.
Stats relatively even, though, and that's reflected in the score. And these two teams, they know each other. They are well prepared for each other. That's why I think this is a low-scoring game. This is 2 good coaching jobs so far in this ball game.
No doubt.
All right, second half underway, and Wheeling Central, the Knights with the ball in the lead by 4. The long 3 ball is off, and we'll get an over the back against the Maroon Knights.
Yeah, easy call going against Troy Anthony. Second foul on Troy. Kind of leaning over the back of Jaden Bryant.
Bryant cut off. Corner now to Kaiser. Kaiser with a little space. He's cut off as well. There's Isley for 3. Cruz Isley now leads Williamstown with 9 points. It's a 1-point game.
I think that's the way it's going to be. You hit a shot, I hit a shot, and whoever has the ball last, good luck.
Let's see now what Coach Scott Sorrow of Williamstown talked about at halftime on trying to cut down that man there, Eli Sankum.
He's going to be picked up and closely guarded by Cruz Isley. And make the Maroon Knights try and go somewhere else.
Isley with the rebound. Isley streaks down, can't get it to go. There's the follow by Lincoln Joy.
Great job. Lincoln Joy following the play. Don't assume every layup is going to go in. You follow your teammate down the floor like Lincoln Joy did, and you're there to tip it home.
Yellow Jackets back in front by 1, 23-22, so 4 unanswered points for them to start the half, or 5. Good start by Williamstown. And here come the Yellow Jackets again after the miss. Isley again. And Isley will go to the free throw line.
Taking it to the basket, creating fouls. Cruz Isley came out at halftime just determined that, hey, we're going to have some fun. We're going to do it our way. It's good they're not settling for those long outside shots. And you've seen the other shots on the end taken by the other players from Wheeling Central Catholic. When Eli Sankum shoots, it's just so easy and soft and smooth. Right now it seems like the other guys are just struggling a little bit because, hey, Eli didn't touch the ball.
Cruz is going to WVU, not to play basketball, but going to WVU. That's his college decision. Misses them both. And now hustles on the other end.
Must be sure he might reconsider that basketball thing. Well, that's hustle. You love that from a head coach's perspective. coming out at halftime. This is a state championship game, and you get hustle like that from that young man.
Well, Fred, as of today, WVU is looking for players, I can tell you that, and a coach. All positions are open.
No doubt.
Sancom. Oh, with the left hand, and he is a left-hander, but he leaves it short on the left side.
Got pushed out a little farther than he's comfortable with that hook.
Yellow Jackets with the ball up 1, 23-22. Now a turnover will go the other way. Now it's another turnover, but we have a timeout.
No, they lost
Foul?
it back out of bounds. As when Williamstown restole the ball, they lost it out of bounds again. There was the one steal, and then the steal, and they dribbled it on the sideline. Cruz Isley, he's everywhere.
Long three is good by Troy Anthony, his second three of the game.
Boy, they need that. Because if you're going to try and shut down Eli Sankin, which Cruz Isley's done a good job on the first 3 minutes of this second half, somebody else like Troy Anthony's going to have to step up, and he did there.
Isley with the assist. Great job by Isley to find Lincoln Joy, and Lincoln Joy, who averages 5, has 9 points. And that was set up by Isley, just having good eyes and finding the open player.
And we're tied at 25.
Well, again, when they played February 1st, it was tied at the end of near the end of the game, Fred, with 4 seconds, came down to a free throw.
Yeah, Mel Stevens is going to have a little more production out of Max Oliash. Max struggling a little bit. He's 1 of 6 so far from the field.
Foul is on Joy. And it's Wheeling Central basketball. Well, you just mentioned Oliash.
There you go, and that's where he's comfortable. He was about 3 feet from the goal, just turned and put it up with the right-hand hook, and Max Oliash scores it. Nice job by the youngster.
Travel.
Yep.
For Williamstown, that's turnover number 7.
Cruz Isley got in the middle of the offense and took an extra jump step, and the officials right there to call a violation.
Maroon Knights with the ball and a 2-point lead past the 4-minute mark of the third quarter. AA championship game, first of 4 championship games today.
Great pass. Great setup for Wheeling Central's Troy Anthony. He just couldn't knock down the shot. Basket's going to be good. Nice job for Williamstown as Parker Schramm got in the middle of that lane, and he will try and complete the conventional 3-point play.
Parker Schramm's spin move in the lane, and a free throw coming up.
That is really giving them the spark they have needed to get back into this ball game after trailing at halftime. Cruz Isley, he is Mr. Spirited with playing with a lot of emotion right now. You watch him make a shot, and I mean, he is his biggest cheerleader. He knows what he's doing. Cruz Isley, good player.
Williamstown has made their last 3 shots, and now they get a chance to break this tie with Sandcombe, and they do. 1-point lead for the Yellow Jackets. Now, I think one of the strategies, Fred, for Scott Sorrow in defending the Maroon Knights is make somebody else beat you. Run guys at Sandcombe and make somebody else beat you.
Which they have done this second half. Now foul's going to be called, and Eli Sankum is going to be at the free throw line. Whether they say he was shooting, Yeah, he was shooting. So Sankum will go to the free throw line. Certainly very dangerous there. He's just a pure shooter. Eli Sankum.
84% free throw shooter, had 13 points in the first half. I don't think you can undervalue having a dad as a coach. Danny, who played in Wheeling and then now as a coach at the University of Pennsylvania, Cal University of Pennsylvania. And how much does that mean for a young player to get all those fundamentals right?
Well, very important. And Eli Sankum has almost half of his team's points. He has 14. Central Catholic has 29.
Knights back in the lead by 1. Fred, do you have the feeling this might come down to who has the ball last?
Yeah, I really do. I think both teams are playing so tight against one another. I don't see anyone breaking out to a big, big lead. Nice play inside. But before the shot, Parker Schramm had the 2 points done, but it was before the shot. So Schramm will be the inbounder.
Foul is on Luke Sankom. Schramm. Three ball is short for Schramm. And here comes Sankom. Great assist pass, but a good defense that time by Williamstown, and quickly the other way, and it's Cruz Isley with the easy 2 set up by the defense on the other end.
And a beautiful pass from Parker Schramm to get the assist. Beautifully well run down the floor after that block shot.
Yellow Jackets by 1, 1:55 to go in the third quarter. Sankom drives, Sankom dishes. There's the assist from Sankom and the bucket for the Knights, for Oliash.
Max Oliash starting to get involved in the offense a little more.
See, that's a good play.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That's a good play. Is that Sankom, I just said run everybody at Sankom. But when you do that, guess what? You leave a guy open, and that's what happened. And Oliash had the easy one. Knights with the ball up 1. There's Luke Sankom. Scott Sorrow is going to see Sankoms in his nightmares.
He's done a good job, I think, in this third quarter on Eli. But we haven't said enough about how Eli has really helped shut down Parker Schramm a little bit. So Eli says, all right, I'm not getting a chance to play the offense the way I want. I got to help my team. I'll play defense. 6'4", long arms. He can do that well.
Well, they have Powell on him to try to just deny him the basketball if possible. Well, now they're set up in this zone.
You're going to slow him down. Talking about Eli Sankum. You're not going to stop him. Impossible. He knows the game. He knows it well. He knows where to find his teammates. They played well together.
Maroon Knights setting up for one shot. Coming up on 20 seconds left in the quarter. They're up by 4. They can afford to run clock and take this final attempt. Seven. 3 ball is off. Thought we were going to have another.
I did
buzzer.
too.
Another shot at the buzzer. 1 quarter remaining, and the Knights up by 4.
That quarter, and both Eli and Luke are shooting 50% from the floor. Eli's 5 of 10, Luke's 1 of 2, still 50%.
Jaden Bryant came up short, and Jaden Bryant has struggled to score in this game, Fred. He has a 3-pointer. That was early on, but he averages 17 points a game.
Been frustrated, but again, he understands. Okay, what can I do? He's going to have to play some defense, and he's been doing that for the best part most of the third quarter, so we'll see what happens here in the final 8 minutes.
Maroon Knights with the ball and a chance to extend their lead. All right, they're going to get, the officials are going to get Eli Sankom on the push.
And you're going to get Cruz Isley We're probably have we already had the Oscars? We have, haven't we?
No, come on now, Fred.
I'm just saying. Great heads-up basketball defensive play. How's that? Huh?
Yeah, that's better.
There you go.
That's better. You know, you're looking for an advantage. That's how you play. You're looking for an advantage. What do you got to do? You're looking for an advantage. There's Isley. Oh, he has it blocked away.
How about that, huh? Wheeling Central. Troy Dean, great job by Dean to get that one done.
Sancombe fouled by Powell.
Nice block, and then a minute or 30 seconds later, Wyatt Powell just grabbed on as the Maroon Knight got around him.
Wheeling Central with the ball back. Sancombe splits the defenders. Up with the left hand. Gets his own rebound. Foul. You know, another point about Sancombe is I've seen him change his expression once in this game, and that was on the foul, which he didn't think he committed. But he's a cool character.
He is. That's what we pointed out when he made that half-court shot at halftime. Expression didn't change. He just said, okay, let's get to halftime and work on some things and come back. Free throw shooting today, though, for Eli Sancombe is his first miss. He's 2 of 3, 15 points. Got 11 rebounds. He already has a double-double.
Five-point lead for the Knights.
16 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists, and only 1 personal foul for Eli Sancombe.
And Sancombe with another rebound.
Now, if you're Williamstown, you have to be a little careful, Hoppy. The lead is now 5. Mel Stevens is a master when he gets that kind of a lead. Just doesn't quit. Eli Sancombe, he missed, he fought, got the offensive board and put it back up again.
Sancombe has 19. Floater short. Luke Sancombe, and a foul on Powell. Fred, we're at a critical part of this game. This has been a 1, 2, 3-point game. Watch Sancombe stay with us.
Now Wyatt Powell just picked up his 3rd personal foul for the Jackets.
We're going to get a timeout. Wheeling Central with their biggest lead, 7 points. 6:13 left to go in the 4th quarter of this AA championship game. Wheeling Central with a 7-point lead over Williamstown in the AA championship game. And the shooting percentages are very even in this game, Fred. The difference is that for Wheeling Central, on 3-point shooting, they've done better. They've made 7 of... check that. They have made
7 of 18.
7 of 18, yeah.
And 4 of 16 for Williamstown. And now another steal. This one by Eli Sancombe, and he lays it as softly off the glass as you possibly can. Eli now with 20 points in the game and 13 rebounds.
Offensive foul against Williamstown. That hurts.
You lose control of the ball. Another turnover by the Yellow Jackets. And now what Scott Sorrow has decided to do with 5:47 left in the ball game. He is going to really tighten up that defense, and if he sends them to the free throw line, so be it. Right now, Hop, for Wheeling Central, they are 4 of 6 from the free throw line. We'll see what happens when we come back. Inside the stripes, a special feature on the officials, Mr. Chris Derrico. Chris has been doing this since 1989, his 36th year officiating. He's from Fairmont. He is the direct supervisor and district office director of Barber County Schools. Loves to travel, and his daughter Savannah is attending Pierpont Community College Biggest thing about Chris, he's a parrot head, Hoppy. He loves Jimmy Buffett music.
Turnover, Williamstown. And the Knights have an 11-point lead on that two-pointer by Oleash on the assist by Sancom. And this is a real trouble spot now for Williamstown. Down 11, coming up on 5 minutes to play.
Right now, Wheeling Central Catholic getting close to another state title.
Easy three for Williamstown, for Wheeling Central and for Tyler Dean.
I did not see a 13-point edge with 5 minutes left in the game.
However,
It's not.
Williamstown answers on the other end. That Schramm knocks down the three. And he has 10 points. Take a timeout. Take a timeout. So here's our situation. AA championship game. And Wheeling Central has a 10-point lead, 43-33 over Williamstown. Now, when they played back on February 1st, Fred, Wheeling Central had about 11-point lead or more, 14-point lead at one point in the second half. And Williamstown came fighting back in that game and tied it up at 55 with 4 seconds to go. And that's when Parker Schramm made one of 2 free throws, and they went on to win the game 56-55. But you don't have as much time in this game as Williamstown had back on February 1st.
No, but what you do have is you have Scott Sorrow as your head coach, and of course he learned a lot from his dad, Fred Sorrow, who was a longtime girls coach at Williamstown, recently retired. Scott Sorrow knows he's got to get some offensive performance out of Parker Schramm. He has got to get Cruz Isley, even though Isley is the leading scorer right now with 11 points. Parker only has 8. Those 2 kids, they are 7 of 22 from the floor. Step up their game a little bit. We have plenty of time left in this one with only a 10-point lead, almost 5 minutes left.
It'll be Wheeling Central basketball.
Mel Stevens, man, he's been around for a while, and he's just one of those great, great coaches that loves his kids and knows the game of basketball.
He's been down to Charleston so much for the state tournament, he should have an apartment. Oleash, back-to-back buckets for Max Oleash. And it's a 12-point lead again.
Well, his son for a while was the head coach at Winfield High, so I'm sure he spent some time, even more so. 3 to get closer for Wyatt Powell, and now Wyatt is getting involved, and you have to have it. Other folks have to step up for Scott Sorrow.
All right, so that bucket gets the deficit for Williamstown back to single digits. 45-36 coming up on 4 minutes.
Well, it is obvious now after passing up that drive to the basket that Wheeling Central is going to get the exact shot they want. It's probably going to have to come from Eli Sankum.
Yeah, the instruction from Mel Stevens must have been, let's not hurry this. Let's run some clock unless you got a shot.
Like that. Eli Sankum right on cue. Just picked up 2 more points. He's got 22 points, 13 rebounds.
He's having a championship-type game, that's for certain.
Ball's going to go out of bounds after the missed shot, and Wheeling Central will get another opportunity to add to this 11-point lead. Beautiful move inside the lane by Eli Sankum. Such body control.
Fred, we talk about this almost every championship game that we do. That is, these are 2 really good teams with excellent players, excellent coaches. But who's going to have a day, right? Now we have a turnover. Here comes Williamstown. But who's gonna have that championship day game?
Well, Eli Sankum for one. That's another rebound. Is number 14 after the missed shot by Williamstown. And Williamstown certainly has picked a bad time to go cold, Hoppy.
They have. And they're going to have to start thinking about fouling, right? Go for the steal. If you don't get the steal, foul.
Yeah, no doubt. When you look.
Assist by Sancom to Oleash. Oleash has 12. Oleash has 6 consecutive points, and that lead is now 13. Put back, and the foul is going to be on Sancom, and it's going to be Wyatt Powell, a 60% free throw shooter, going to the line for 2.
After the foul, Eli Sankum, of course, did not agree, but he did not want to say anything, so he just kind of turned his head and shook, almost said, I'm not going to deal with it, and walked away. Foul number 2 on Eli Sankum, so no worries there.
Carson Hill coming into the game for Williamstown, replacing Kaiser. So Powell makes them both. Get a timeout here with Wheeling Central leading by 11, 49-38.
So when you look, you're talking about free throw shooting for Wheeling Central. Eli Sankum right now 1 of 2. You've got, or check it, Luke Sankum 1 of 2. Eli Sankum 3 of 4. And that's it. They're 4 of 6 from the charity stripes. And it's only been the Sankum brothers that have been there. So you don't know what the other guys are going to do. But the good thing about what Mel Stevens is doing, Hop, is he's keeping the ball in the hands of Eli Sankum.
Yeah, which is a smart play. Fred, it's Championship Saturday. We have our game, and then we're going to have 3 more today.
Yeah, you've got the Class AAA game coming up at 12:30. Bridgeport has been #1 all season long in AAA. They go against Nitro. 5 o'clock later on today, #3 George Washington takes on, without question in my mind, the best team down here. #1 Spring Mills. They have another gear that these other teams have not found yet. Single A championship later tonight, #2 Tucker County against #1 Tug Valley. Tucker County won a great ball game last night against East Hardy. All 4 championship games should be much like this one, in doubt in the 4th quarter.
So for Williamstown, they need points here. Now you can get it with that 3-point shot. So far for the Yellow Jackets, 6 of 21 from 3-point range. That's 29%. But you got some good 3-point shooters. Jaden Bryant has a 3, but just 1. That was earlier in the game. He made 4 threes in the quarterfinals. You have Parker Schramm. He can make 3s. You have Cruz Isley. He can make 3s. So you got guys that can make 3s, but you got to get stops and then try to get some 3-point buckets, or drive to the basket and get some conventional 3-point plays.
Yeah, defense is the most important thing right now. If you don't stop Wheeling Central, that doesn't make any difference what you do. You got to stop Central Catholic. And the foul is going to be called. It's going to go against Williamstown's Bryant. Jordan Bryant's going to pick up the personal. That's team foul number 3 against Central Catholic. Need a couple of more unless it's a shooting situation.
I'll tell you what, Williamstown also needs a shot clock. Right?
Well, they do right now. That would please Scott Sorrow. Normally, no, they don't.
And Central, Wheeling Central, they handle the pressure well, too, because of this guy, for one of the reasons.
Yeah, he knows how to handle the ball. That's the 4th team foul. Now we'll shoot on the next one.
Troy Anthony will go to the free throw line. And look, you got to foul somebody. Now Anthony is, of course, he's not going to go to the free throw line. We haven't gotten to 5 yet, and it's not a shooting situation. It's a 4th foul.
Just the 4th foul. Now they'll shoot on the next one. And they could not find Max Oliash in time.
Boy, Oliash has made hay
yes.
down around the basket. He has 14 points. Long 3 is off. Rebound and putback is there for Bryant. Timeout. And for Wheeling Central, Fred, they've made 8 of their last 9 shot attempts.
Wheeling Central has just done what you have to do to close out the win. 20 of 45 from the floor. That's 45% in this ball game. They've shot well from outside, 19-9. They're 4 of 6 from the free throw line. They just do the things that you have to do. They've out-rebounded Williamstown today, and when it comes to turnovers, Central Catholic has turned the ball over only 6 times today.
Yeah. And Wheeling Central's done a great job of running clock and then finding their shot, not taking a bad shot. And Oliash has benefited from that. They've worked it around. Oliash shakes free, and they've had 3 consecutive layup shots.
And again, you've got Eli Sankum on your side, and boy, I'm telling you, that kid, 6'4" junior, Gatorade Player of the Year. He can take it to the basket. He can handle the ball. He can rebound his own misses, put them back up and in. And we've noted how great an outside shooter he is. But the body control that he has, shooting with the left hand, you're not used to that normally as a defender. Eli Sankum, 6'4", and a junior, 22 points, 14 rebounds, double-double in a state championship game.
Another thing he has going for him at the next level, Fred, is that he's 6'4".
Yeah.
Okay, and the way he handles the ball, right?
And he does not play down inside. He is an outside player, which you have to be at his height, 6'4". Can handle the ball. He can do that easily. He's been groomed well. Well, we're going to get someone there besides Sankum.
And we're going to get shots. Shots by Tyler Dean. If Sankum, he was the player of the year this year. If he's the player of the year also next year as a senior, the last player who was player of the year for 2 years in a row was Chase Harler from
where?
Wheeling Central.
How about that? Oh, there's no question. When you talk this level of basketball as far as the classifications, where they played in single A and they played in double A, it's just a matter of the fact that this is one of the top programs in the state, year in, year out. You just don't want to have to face Mel Stevens and the Maroon Knights. Mel is a tremendous coach, loves his kids. His kids play hard for him. Obviously, they're coached extremely well by Mel and his assistant coaches. Great team.
I tell you, if you're Zach Spiker, the coach of Drexel, and they've been scouting Sankum all week, this ought to help make their decision.
I think their decision was made. They just wanted to see him in person. Going to get a blocking foul called against Williamstown. Player control.
You know, also with players these days, you don't necessarily think in traditional, like, well, you got to have, you know, a guard, a point guard, and you got to have like you know, a 3 and a 4 and a 5. Lots of times it's just who are the best players. Let me get the best players on the court.
Give me 5 athletes. Yeah. 5 athletes and somebody that can handle the ball. I can teach you how to rebound. You got to be able to have that natural talent to handle the ball in traffic. That's where it's key. Some new faces will be coming into the lineup now for Scott Sorrow with only 78 seconds left in this one. He catches each kid as he comes off the floor just to say, hey, we're going to be back. A lot of seniors on this team, but they've got a lot of talent returning as well.
24 points for Eli Sankum. It may be some folks, there we go, drive, shot, and rebounds, Eli Sankum. And I know that some folks in Williamstown might be saying, why have you talked about this guy so much? Why haven't you talked more about Williamstown? And it's a fair comment, but I would just say because the guy has had an amazing tournament and an amazing game. Yeah. He's had one of those games.
He has indeed, and he needed one of those games against this great team. Williamstown came in as the #1 seed. They were the team everyone was chasing. And until this game, it looked like Scott Sorrow's team was indeed the #1 seed.
Right.
And that they had a legitimate shot at this title. And I think they did coming into this game today. They just met up with a kid like Eli Sankum, who is having one of those games that no matter what you do, he's going to have one of those games. Well, double.
Williamstown, they earned the #1 seed.
Yes, they
did.
Question. 26 points, 15 rebounds, 5 assists. That's a game.
That's a game. That's a couple games. Under a minute to play. And they're going to start celebrating. The Maroon Knights going to begin the celebration.
And let's be quick to point out, this has not been a 19-point game, even though that's the score.
No. This was a 1-point game for 2.5 quarters. Yes. And I thought it was going to be a 1-point game at the end.
I did too. I thought whoever had the ball last was going to win it. Well, looks like Williamstown's going to have it last. Scott Sorrow says we're not going to score. Mel Stevens says we're not going to foul. And we're going to watch the last 20 seconds of this Class AA title game tick down.
Under 20 seconds. Wheeling Central fans celebrating. And it's championship number 13. It's a lucky number for Wheeling Central, for Mel Stevens and the Maroon Knights as they win the AA championship 59-40. That's a tough one for Williamstown. Just a great year. Came in here 21-3. They had defeated Wheeling Central in a close game earlier in the season, and they were the #1 seed. They wanted to win their second state championship, but they ran into a red-hot Wheeling Central Maroon Knight team today. As Eli Sankum has a championship day. Sankum, 26 points, 8 of 15 from the field, 3 of 5 from three-point range, 7 of 8 from the free throw line, 15 rebounds, 6 assists. He rolled, as did Wheeling Central, and they win the AA championship 59-40. We're coming back with Victoria's head coach Mel Stevens right after this.
Williamstown 25-10 in the fourth quarter to claim the Class AA state championship by the final of 59-40. The Victoria's head coach Mel Stevens is with our Fred Persinger.
Mel, question number one. I've said many, many times, you come down to any basketball game, you want to win every quarter.
Right.
You did that.
Right. I mean, you know, we kind of even break it up into 4-minute segments, and I think the only one we lost was the first 4 minutes of the third quarter, but we responded really well for the last 4 minutes of that quarter, and then we were able to finish it out.
It's probably the first time you've ever heard this question, but just give me your thoughts on Eli Sankum.
He's very good. I mean, he's very, very good. He does everything we need him to do plus some. 26
points today, 16 rebounds. That is a complete, as Hoppy Kercheval said, 3 games.
Sure. And I mean, he does that every game, really. I mean, he is very, very good.
But you know as well as I, the Maroon Knights are not just a one-person team. You really have some outstanding players out there.
We do. And, I mean, the good thing is, for us, it seems like we always have a pretty good nucleus coming back every year. I mean, we're going to lose four real quality kids, this year. But we got, the other 6 coming back, plus some kids stepping up from JV. So, we just try to continue that momentum, from year to year.
You came into this game knowing that you had lost to this Williamstown team back on February the 1st by 1 point at their place. But it didn't really seem to make any difference today. You had a game plan in mind.
We did. I mean, obviously they're a very good team, very well coached. I got a ton of respect for that program over there. But we thought, obviously, the Bryant and the Schramm kid were their 2 best players, and we just try to do our best to try to limit them as much as we could.
This is not your first one, certainly. Does it ever get old?
No, it doesn't. I mean, the good thing is, you got a different group all the time, and that's what makes it special, for those kids that never experienced it before.
Your girls' team came awfully close last week under Roberta Oleash, and your guys take it home this week. It's going to get that Wheeling feeling going soon.
Yeah, it feels good.
All right, buddy. Thank you. Congratulations. You're a state champion again.
Thanks, Fred.
There you go. Mel Stevens. Joe, back to you.
Thanks very much, Fred. There's a reason that Mel Stevens has won now 7 state championships. Already talking about what he's got coming back next year as the Maroon Knights look to repeat in Class AA. We'll put a wrap on the victory for the Wheeling Central Catholic Maroon Knights coming up next as our post-game coverage continues from the Charleston Coliseum and Convention Center. Class AA state championship belongs to the Maroon Knights of Wheeling Central Catholic as they defeat Williamstown by the final of 59-40 in a tremendous effort from junior Eli Sankum. 26 points, 15 rebounds to go along with 6 assists, and he is courtside with Fred Persinger.
Joe, thank you. Eli Sankum alongside West Virginia Gatorade Player of the Year, all valuable player in this tournament. But I think, Eli, the most important thing of all is you're a state champion.
Yeah, I couldn't do it without my teammates. I mean, that was the biggest goal here, not the Gatorade Player of the Year. The goal was to win a state championship, and we did that today.
Talk about specifically one of your teammates, and that's your younger brother, Luke.
Yeah, I mean, everyone on our team I'm very confident in. We're with each other all the time. So I knew coming into the game it was going to be a good one. So I felt very confident coming into this game. Luke, he's awesome. He comes and gets a bunch of shots up, so whenever I pass him the ball, I really know it's going in.
Tell me about the leadership and the guidance of a pretty valuable player in your family, and that's your dad, Danny.
Yeah, I mean, just stay confident. Like my dad, he's always telling me to stay confident, be poised, and just work hard. And I believe that's what got me here today, just working hard and putting my head down and working.
All right, you're only a junior, which means the work starts again, I would imagine, Monday.
Yep, for sure, definitely, yep.
Getting ready for next year. You guys have a lot coming back.
Yeah, we do. We lose 4 valuable seniors, but I feel good about the guys coming back for sure.
Does all of the recruiting talk or anything bother you?
Not really. Just staying poised, like I said, just focusing on our team and winning.
All right, my friend, you are a state champion. Congratulations.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
There you go. That's Eli Sankum. Joe, back to you.
Thanks very much, Fred. Eli Sankum, one of the top players in the state of West Virginia, and with very good reason. The performance today in the championship game, 26 points on 8 of 15 shooting from the floor. He was 3 of 5 from beyond the arc, 7 of 8 from the free throw line, 15 rebounds, for Eli Sankum to go along with 6 assists. That's why he is the player of the game, sponsored by the West Virginia Coal Association and the Friends of Coal, committed to clean energy, your job, and a better quality of life for all West Virginians. State championship number 7 for Wheeling Central Catholic head coach Mel Stevens as the Maroon Knights celebrate their 59-40 victory over Williamstown. And this was a game that was really secured by Williamstown with their run in between the third and the fourth quarters, when they scored 14 unanswered points to turn a 1-point deficit into a 13-point lead. And then the Maroon Knights able to build upon that lead late in the game. Tremendous effort also from Max Olias with a 14-point effort and to go along with 7 rebounds. So in this 1 versus 2 matchup, Wheeling Central Catholic claims the Class AA state championship game. They do so with a 59-40 victory over Williamstown. Wheeling Central takes the title. We will have Class AAA coming your way next.